Hello and welcome to another animation tutorial series. I am your host N.05, where I'm going to teach you how to be better animator through some tips and efficiency stuff. I'm still trying to work out the intro for all my videos. So anyways, this video is going to be about graph editors using Maya. In my case, I'm using Maya 2015, but I believe most of the tools that I'm going to show you will be in 2013 and up. So I don't think it should be a big deal for you unless you're using a very old Maya, or unless you're using the free Maya as well, the student version. That's fine too. So let's begin. When I first started doing animation in Maya, I did not use the graph editor at all. All I used was the dope sheet, right? Graph editors was just very confusing for me. I only started to understand the graph editor after I graduated, or during my last semester in college in art school. So I'm gonna try and simplify graph editor for you if you're having the same problem as me when I first started. Or maybe you want to see what more things, more ins and outs, what features they have now. So let's begin. Yeah. So this is my setup right here. I have just a simple bouncing ball, and this is your graph editor. So this is right here, the center point is your, the numbers down here is the frame numbers, which represents down here. Wait, let me frame it. Okay, that's easier. There we go. Alright. So down the numbers down here, you see all this represents the frame number. So it's the same as down here, the timeline. And the numbers on the side here is the value, which is the values you put into the attribute editor right here. And all these are the attributes pretty much. You can even like single them out. So if you want to see all of them, you can just select your selection. I mean your whatever it is that you're selecting. Or you can just single them out like so. You want to see the translate Y, translate Z, etc. Or you can just pick a few. Maybe you just want these 3 or these 6. Right? You can even frame the whole the graphs of your keys. So in this case, I only have 3 keys right here because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them later on. So if you see my hotkey setup video, I set it to my Q, but the default is F. When you hit F, let's say I zoom out really far and I'm way back here, and I want to go to my key. So I just hit my frame all, and I'm zoom in to this whole timeline, I think, yeah. So let's say if my timeline is only for this 2 keyframes, and I hit frame. Frame? No, okay, never mind. I think it's just the whole animation from here, your start frame range, and then the end of here. So wherever there's keys in between these 2 range, and you hit frame, it will just zoom into all of that. Right? Or you can even select a key, and then it will just zoom into that. So I'm selecting this at frame 10, it will just zoom in. But because I only have 3 keys here, it would show these 2 as well. Usually it does. So whenever you select one of these keys, it would show you the previous key and the forward key. Yeah. So what else? Now there's a lot more. I'm just being a little dazed. Okay, now let's begin with the tangents, like what they mean. Up here you see all these different tangents. There's the auto tangent, which you'll use most of your time, 90% of your time. I usually just, when I'm splining my animation, polishing, I just select everything and I hit the auto tangent. So it fixes everything. I don't really need to tweak unless there's a special case. But in this case, I'm tweaking it because it's a bouncing ball. Because it's when you first started animation using bouncing ball, you want to tweak everything in the graph. You don't want to be tweaking it down here. Let's undo this. Right. So auto tangents, what they do is that it will take the highest value and the lowest value of each key, and then they will flatten it out like this. See, this is not flat, but when I auto tangent it, it would go flat completely. Same for anything you select. So the bottom one, you would do the same thing. So you see how it's flat, or else you would just overextend like this. This is not what you want. This overshooting of the tangent. It's some animators do it this way, but it's quite out of control in my opinion. So you always want them flat. Right, let's go back to here. That's the auto tangent, which you will use a lot. Spline is like auto tangent, but it doesn't flat the top two values. So let's say if I have this, and I have this, and I hit the spline. See, the bottom one, it doesn't really flatten out. It's actually, spline is actually just continuing the motion. It's trying to figure out like, oh, there's a stop here, so you should put some overshoot here. But you don't want that, right? You want to have full control of the computer. You don't want the computer to tell you what you want. So I suggest using auto tangent all the time. Most of the time. Special cases, you would tweak things. As you learn animation, you would know what you need to do. Let's see, clamp. I don't use that very often. I don't know what it does, to be honest. Linear. So linear, when you hit linear, it looks like this. Sorry. When you hit linear, it becomes a straight line. Hence the name linear. So every frame you will see it progress very consistent, which you don't want. Where's my ball? There you go. See this kind of linear animation? We don't want that, right? But in certain cases, you want a linear animation in specific occasions, I would say. Like let's say a character, it's going really fast and it's going to hit a wall. So at that last movement, last portion, you probably want a linear graph. Right? But that's for another day about animation. Let's see, flat. Okay, flat is pretty much like what we talk about the outer tangent, but you're doing it manually. So let's say if, like back when I first started, they did not have this auto tangent. So I have to manually go every single key and kind of tweak it on my own. So when there are times where, let's say I would, back in the days when I used the spline, I would just select all my keys and I could just hit spline, and then I'll get weird things like this I do not want. So I would select that key and then I would hit flat. It's a pretty tedious process. So with this auto tangent, it's really helpful. That's what flat tangents does. I rarely use that nowadays. Since I've got this auto tangent, it's awesome. Now this is the next one, step tangent. This one I use all the time during my blocking process. So step pretty much, okay, so now your keys look like this. And you realize the animation did not happen until it reaches the key. So you can look at this graph, it's just a flat line. That means it's not moving at all. Until it hits that key, then it goes to that position. So this is this step tangent is very ideal for blocking animation, where you're trying to get the pose and the timing down. So that's all for the tangents. Plateau, I don't know what that is. But yeah, you don't need to know. Hey. Hold on. Okay. Now on to the next thing. Let's see. Alright, break tangents and unify these three things right here. Okay, so what break tangents does is that you see when I zoom into here, there are two tangents, right? There's one here, left side, one here on the right side. And what break tangent does is it separates the two of them together. Because right now, if I move one of them, the other one follows. And certain occasions, I do not want that to happen. I use this quite often as well. Break tangents, so what happens when I break it? Now I can move them individually. Yay! Okay, let's say I don't want them to break. I want them to unify, stick together again. So I select this and I hit the button next to it. It's called Unify Tangents. Boop, and it's back to normal. Woohoo! And now all these different tangents that I show you. Okay, there's one more here. Free tangent. So what it does. Okay. Okay, let's start talking about weighted tangents and non-weighted tangents. Let me experiment first. Weighted. Okay. Now you want your tangents to always be weighted. Ah, weighted means, sorry, my cat is jumping on my desk. Alright, weighted means you will get this little square right here. Let me zoom in. If you can see it, it's a little square. If it's non-weighted, you get this little ball, a dot. Ah, you can see it. Alright. I'm not well prepared. Alright, now what's the difference? Non-weighted tangents, you see it gets shorter, and it gets that little dot, right? Let me get my pen tool. Pen tool? There we go. Yeah, awesome. Right, non-weighted tangents look like this, like a little dot, right? Now the bad thing about this thing is that you have no freedom of movement with this thing. So if I want to make this tangent longer, I won't be able to. I'm just locked to this kind of rotation on this axis. And I do not want that. I want to have freedom. So I select that key. Stop that. Stop. I select that key. Right click and select weighted tangents. Now you notice my tangents got longer and it became this square thing right here. This is what you want. Because I can lengthen the tangent and I can rotate. Complete freedom. Very good. Now, let's see, free tangent. That covers the free tangent right here. All these hotkey, not icons, avatars? Icons, you can find it up here at the tangent section. Auto, spline, everything. Yep, alright, that's the tangent part. Let me look at my notes real quick. Framing. Alright, how to zoom in and out of your, like this. Just like how you use your mouse. Just like how you use the viewport. You would hold Alt and you use your middle click. You hold down, wait. This is so confusing when I'm using the Wacom and the mouse. Alright, if you want to zoom out and in, right, you have to hold down Alt and you right click, right? So you zoom in and out. Just like how you do the mouse scroll. You just kind of scroll the mouse. Same thing with the graph editor. And how do you pan? Same thing with the viewport as well. So you hold down Alt and middle click, move around. Right, let's say I want to zoom into a specific value or a specific timeline. So let's say I'm zoomed out really far. Okay, look at this, 0 to 10. I want to get to 5.25. It's pretty hard to gauge, right, 5.25. So I want to, if you hold down Alt and Shift, you can expand this. Whoa, look at that. Look at this. And then you can do it sideways as well. So if you move it sideways, you expand sideways. Just make sure you're holding down Shift and Alt when you do this. Shift and Alt. Sideways, so you can expand timeline. And vertical, you can expand the value. So you can see it's starting to go from 8.2, 8.4, etc. If you want to get very, very detailed about the whole value that you want to get, which it will happen when you are in production. Go away. There we go. Now, zooming out, zooming in. I can't read my handwriting. Tangents, adding. Alright, adding keys. Let's see. Now, in special cases, you might want to add keys to specific tangents, specific attributes, right? You don't want to add a key if you want to select everything. Alright, like let's say if you want to add a key on translate Y only. If you set a key, it will set a key on everything. And maybe on certain occasions, you don't want that. So there's a way to just set a key on just this, right? Book. Alright, so there's a button here on the keys, insert key tool. And then you middle click. Boop. Now you have one key there. I used to use this a lot, but not necessary. With the way you should be animating it's not very necessary to do this. I recommend not doing it actually. But on certain occasions, like let's say you want to keep the keys, the animation on certain attributes, then yeah, this is good. Let's see. Oh, alright, there's a hotkey for this. I think this is I. Yes. So if you hold down the letter I and middle click, you get this too. So you don't always have to go here and go to key and insert key too. You don't have to always do that. Just hold down I and drop it in. Drop it in. What's happening here? What's happening here? Alright. Okay, cool. Now that's out of the way. 3 tangents with the tools. Alright. Now you see this, I was talking about weighted tangents, right? You always want this on. But on certain occasions you have to manually put it in, which I showed you just now. Highlight and right click with the tangents. Now you can do it by default, so it's always like this. You can go down here onto this Steam pop-up. Pretty annoying. Okay, you know that little square here, animation preferences. Then we go, yes, we go to animation, settings, animation, and checked the weighted tangent. You want it checked. I think default is unchecked, so you want to make sure it's checked and save it. Alright, that is the weighted tangent. Right, lattice tool, not lattice, green lattice. Right, this lattice tool, right here you see these 3 different tools. Default one is this first one, which is your selection key. So but this lattice, what it does is it selects multiple keys and then you can tweak it on, you can tweak multiple keys at the same time. On special occasions you would use this. I rarely used it. Wait, what's this? Oh wait, this is the default one you use, the square one. No, this is not the default. This is the default one. Okay, this is the default one you use. Lattice tool is this. So what it does, if you select the keys that you want to tweak, let's say you want to group, you want to tweak all of this. So you can create this lattice and you can tweak as you like. See? You can select multiple of these little squares. You can hold down shift, you can tweak it like this. If you need to. I rarely use this, but this is a tutorial about the graph editor, so I thought I should show it to you. Oh, here's the icon tool. So the insert key tool I told you about, where you hold down I and you insert in like this, you can do it here too. So just hit that icon and drop it in. Middle click. Make sure it's middle click. Middle click, yes. Back to this. Don't want this. Okay, let's see what else. Let this tool. Alright, this other tool. It's called the Euler filter. It's hard to pronounce, and I would say this is a miracle tool for any animator who's went through Gimbal Locks. So Gimbal Locks is it's kind of hard to explain what Gimbal Lock is. Because okay, let me draw it out. So let's say we have this, translate Y, translate Z. Alright, never mind, let me use this bouncing ball. Perspective. Alright, you see these 3 different axes? Let's change this to a gimbal. Alright, now you have your rotate X, rotate, this is rotate X, sorry. This is rotate Z, and then rotate Y. Now in Gimbal Locks, right, on occasions where your character is rotating, sometimes the axis of these, like this red, blue, green, they kind of overlap each other. And if you continue animating and continue rotating these attributes when they're overlapping each other, the Maya gets confused. Like what attribute are you using, especially if you're using like a local axis, right? You can't see what axis you're moving. You think you're moving this. Right, never mind. But over time, if you rotate too many directions, and all these axes gets overlap each other, your mind gets confused. They don't know what attributes you're using. So it starts guessing. It starts, okay, maybe you're rotating X, maybe you're rotating Y, maybe Z, I don't know. But when you, and that's not what you want, because sometimes then your character will be doing all these weird spins. So with Euler filter, it's like magic. So like, let's say if this is my whole animation, a lot of keys, imagine, all the keys, it's messy, right? So I want to, this is my cheat way of making tutorials. You want to select everything, all your keys, and then go to Euler filter. It will then fix everything pretty much, I would say. Like magic. I don't know how to explain it, but it works. Oh wait, I made a tutorial video on that. Okay. I forgot that I just made another scene just to demonstrate about this Gimbal Locks. Let's erase this. Okay, let's say you have a character here. Alright, I have a keyframe, I'll set a keyframe right here. And then let's say I'm rotating my character. My character's doing a lot of cool stuff. Pew 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 pew. Rotations this way, that way. Rotations this way, that way. Let's just mess up this rotations. Just to give you the idea of, okay, let's say you want the end. So if I go from one keyframe to the other, you would think that he's just leaning down, just bending one knee, right? But when you play it back, he's doing all the spins, right? And you don't notice it because he didn't really pay attention to the attributes. Happens to me too. And your character starts doing all these spins, especially in the blocking phase. What the hell just happened? What? No. I hate it when this happens. Sorry. Alright, let's do this again. Alright, your character is doing all the spins. Spins. Rotations. And you want your character to end like this. So 2 keyframes, it looks like he's just bending over, right? But when you play it back, it's doing all these spins. And you do not want that. And you do not want to manually go in here and fix it one by one. Time consuming. So I would just select all these keys, go to curve, Euler filter, your magic tool, click, and now it is fixed. Look at that, like magic. Let me go back, show you once again. All these messy, I don't want this. So select everything, curves, Euler filter. It is fixed. Like magic. Alright, let me go back to my bouncing ball. I'll show you another tool. Alright. Yes. Let me clean out some stuff. I do not know why. There we go. Okay, next thing. Now if I play back my animation, let me hide everything. See, I only set 3 keys, right? So let's say I want this animation to loop forever, so it's a forever bouncing ball. And I do not want to set any more keys. On a special occasion, I usually don't use this, but in this case it's very useful. Let's say you have a bouncing ball that's just bouncing on the same location all the time. So we will select our first key, and where is this? Curves, pre-infinity. And send that to cycle. Let me show this. Okay. So when you hit this button right here, it creates this what's going to happen, how it looks like pre-animation. Yeah. So we want it to loop, right? Now select the last keys and we do the same thing for post-infinity cycle. This one. 1, 2, 3, that one. Now if I play back, it's gonna bounce forever, pretty much. I only set 3 keys at the beginning, if you notice. There's only 3 keys, but it's going on forever. So this this tool, it's very useful when you're working on cycles. When you're working on cycles for like a TV show. Let's say if you have a character that's a background character that's just walking past, and you don't want to animate his walk cycles that many keys for like 300 frames, right? So you could just animate one cycle of his walk cycle, and then just create this infinite cycle. I mean, infinite this infinite cycle. And then let's say if you do want to do it manually, right? You key every frame, animate it for 200 frames, and let's say like your director tells you, oh, that character should be more lively, or maybe he should be more boring. And you're going to have to tweak all that animation, right? It's going to be very time consuming. But in this case, you just tweak that one cycle. When you tweak that, it tweaks everything. So let me show you. So I have my PreCycle, my infinite cycle thing on. Let's say I want my bouncing ball to be lower. I'm going to lower it. See, notice all my curves change. I'm going to make it higher. All my curves change. So what I change here affects the whole thing. Very handy for occasions like what I just said, like a character that's a background walking character, or a background character that's doing some kind of loop. In this case, it's very useful. But I don't do it very often since I don't do background characters very often anymore. But this is another tool, very useful if let's say you're working on cycles for background characters or anything like that. Right. Let me just go through all these tools, see what else I'm missing. Yeah, that's all. That is all. These are the things that I use as an animator. There are more tools right here. You don't really need to learn them. It's unnecessary. I don't use them. And just keep just learn the tools that you need. Don't learn everything about Maya. There's a lot more to learn in Graph Editor. Not a lot more. Like this retime tool, I hardly use it. Lattice tool, I hardly use it as well. I prefer to manually fix it because it keeps everything organized. Lattice tool can be a little tricky because it moves keys to like the point decimal. So it moves your keys to like 0.25, 0.5, 0.3. I don't want that. I want it to be exact primitive number. I hope that's correct. Yep, that's all. That's all for this graph editor. I will be making more of these Maya tutorial videos, usually animation based. So subscribe if you want to learn more about these things. And if you like my videos, like it, subscribe it, so that I know I'm doing the right thing. If you don't like it, you can thumbs down, or you can just ignore it. So I get the idea. Alright, that's all. Thank you for watching, and bye.